Good morning. My name is Cindy Barton, and I am the program manager of the Center for Creativity. We're so happy to have you this morning. We're going to do cross stitch with my colleague and also my friend. This is Lori Jones, and she is, I forget her title, but She works here in the nursing department area, so if any of us accidentally has a heart attack or something, she's got us. Well, anyway, I'm so happy to have her here today representing the Center for Creativity to do this workshop, and I know she does quilting, she does lots of different fiber things, and so I was like, what can we do? And she said, I got you. So anyway, welcome, Lori.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everybody. So I do cross stitch, but there are some cross stitchers who are much more expert than I am, but I do like doing this. I just wanted to show you a few things as we get started. First, you'll have a pattern here, and I think you don't have the second page, which actually shows what kind of thread you would need, and then this number out to the side. So what I'm going to show you is kind of a different kit. So if you decide you like to cross stitch and you want to go buy a cross stitch pattern, such as this is from my friend Hannah over here, and it will give you different colors with numbers, and those usually refer to DMC brand. Has anyone in here, does anyone cross stitch? No, wow. Okay, one person. Okay, so you can get other brands of thread, but DMC is the most common, and that's where you can go to like Hobby Lobby and they have all the DMC numbers and stuff like that. So, and you can get a kit, or this is what an actual DMC thread looks like, and on here is the number of the color that you need. So if you unravel this, it is this giant long thing, and it's a pain. So I like to some people wrap them around little like square plastic things, but I like to put them on these floss drops. And I'll show you why when we get to there, because it's really nice. So that's why we have these, because I made these for everybody. But I did want to show you that if you go to buy thread, this is what it'll look like, and you'll go get your DMC color. The other thing that's very handy to have if you decide you like to do this is to buy a hoop to help hold the material. The material you have in front of you is called Aida, A-I-D-A cloth. It's pretty stiff. It does soften after a while, but sometimes there are other fabrics, which I'm going to show you in a second, that are a lot softer. And so for me, I like to have something to hold on to while I'm cross-stitching. So if you decide you like this, I would recommend getting a hoop. That's what that's called, a little hoop. Here's another example of a plastic one. The wood ones are a lot better, though. But this came in that kit. Okay, so if I have here's an example of a different kind of cloth, and it looks kind of wrinkly right now because it's been on hoops, but it irons out really well. This is a hand-dyed cloth, and so it's a linen, so it's not considered an Aida cloth, but it has a certain stitch count and all that kind of stuff. Now, up here you can see I went a little too close to the top, so that's a mistake on my part, but that's something I'm working on. And this is the pattern for it, and I highlight a lot when it gets complicated to let me know where I've gone. Another thing, and so when I get a kit like this, well, I'll order the pattern and get the cloth I need or want, and then I will go get the DMC, and then I put all of what I need for that pattern on one little hoop. So I have all the thread I need for that pattern. That's how I organize things. And on my floss drops, I write the number, and at home, I have giant rings, which have all these in numerical order. So I can just go pick easily what I need. It's just the way I organize it. Okay, another thing I'm working on is this. This, again, you can see is a different kind of cloth. It's really soft. It's a Christmas parade. And this little taxi, it's called a needle minder. So it's just a magnet that holds my needle. And I have one here that's little books. So anyway, you can look at this later. So the other thing, you cross stitch, right? And I cross stitch. I just do this. I do this in the evenings a lot. My husband's watching stuff on TV I don't really care about. I want something to do with my hands. I don't want to sit there and eat or whatever, you know what I mean? So this just keeps me busy. And so a lot of times I don't what we call finish. I finish this, but I don't turn it into something. Some people turn it into pillows or frame them, and that's great. But sometimes I just don't do that. This is another thing I'm working on. This is a beaded one, so that's kind of new for me. But I did finish, I wanted to show you a finished project. I did finish these little pillows. So this was a cross stitch, about maybe, you know, a little smaller than that. And they're postage stamps. And there were 12 of them. So 1 cent was January, 2 cents was February. And so this is this month. So you can see it says 6 cents. And it's a boy with a sailboat. Anyway, so I took this and I sewed fabric on the back. And I turned it inside out. And then I stuffed it. And then I had made a cut on the back. You can do it on the bottom and just like whip stitch it closed. But I did the back and then stuffed it. And so I had this ugly thing to cover up. So these are pieces of wool and then like a little pin with some buttons. So I have 12 of these, and then I made this little easel, and I displayed that in my office. So here, I'll show it on the camera. Anyway, so every month I change it out. So that's an example of how you can finish something, right? Okay, so I just wanted to give you those ideas. The other thing I do is with all my scraps, I just collect them in a jar. I saw this woman who had these really pretty bottles, you know, those decorative bottles, and she collected all the scraps in there, and then when it was done, it was so beautiful. It like had all these different colors in it, and I thought, oh, I want to do that. So I collect my scraps in a jar, and so one day I'll do that. And then I have needles, and I have them in a little magnetic case. And then I'm blind, so that might be a concern for people. They're like, oh, I can't really see that well, those little holes and stuff like this. Less than $20 on Amazon, and I will probably put this on. And this has a magnifying thing, and they come with different types or different levels, I guess, and then it has a light. And I wear this like glasses, so if I don't look fancy or graceful in that, but it's what you got to do. And then little scissors. Okay, so are you ready to get started? So, okay, so in front of you, you have your piece of Aida cloth. I did put mine on a hoop. And then you have a needle in there, and then you have a green and pink floss drop. So this is where, I'm going to sit down so I can make sure I stay on camera. This is why I like this. You want one thread of all this. So if you take your floss drop, and you can see, you want the side where the things go under. You have that, those strands of thread that kind of go over. So get that side, get one of you, I guess you have to share. And then I take the whole end of my needle, and I go to there and I just try and grab one. Now you can't grab more than one. So you see how I have one? If you grab more than one, it's going to get tangled. But if you don't, if you just grab one, see, I think I grabbed two. Oops. I did it wrong. Okay, let me try again. See, if you grab two, it's bad. Let me try this one. Okay, let me try this again. I need to put on I'm putting on my fancy glasses like I told you. Okay. Okay, so now I have one, and then I can pull it. See how nice that came off and easy. And then you just go like this. So everybody practice pulling one off. I'll do it again if you need to watch. So you want this side, not that side. Okay, so there's this side where the thread goes over, that's the side you want, not the open V side, I guess. And that's where you're going to take from, the ones that are going, what is this? Perpendicular? I don't know. And then you'll go, and you can even do one on the bottom. See how I got one on the bottom? And then pull. Oh, what happened to our lights? Did everybody get a piece off? We're working on it. Okay, so here's the other thing. So now that you have your one piece of string, right? There are people that do not like knots in their work, and there are people who don't care about having knots. I don't care about having knots, so I do that. But I'm going to show you two ways to thread your needle. First, if you do not like to have knots in your work, you're going to take your string and you're going to put the two ends together.
Which color are we starting with?
Let's start with pink. I mean, you can start with whatever you want. If you have green, it's fine, don't worry. When we get to the pattern, you can start with either pink or green. It's okay. Okay, so you see I have these two ends together. Licking them helps. And then I'm going to take my needle. And then you pull the two ends through.
How big should our thread be?
It's pretty long.
Like thick, I mean.
One strand. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, one strand. One single strand. So one single strand. Yes. Okay, I'm going to do it again. So if you have one single strand like this, see? Here, can I come help?
Tell us about separating.
So when you pull it off, pull it apart, you should have one strand. Sorry. I know, it takes a little getting used to. If you mangled it, just cut yourself a piece. That's one strand. Okay, so if you have your one strand, you're going to double it. So you're going to take the two ends and put them together. And then you're going to thread your needle with the two ends. If they're not even, I cut them. That's right. Use your spit. It's fine. Here, I have one done. I'm going to do that one. So basically, you should have what looks like this. Now, granted, this is for if you don't like knots. This is not really how I do it, but I'm showing you this. So if you, okay, so you have it that way. I'm going to show you the other way in case this is too much for you. The other way is how I do it, because I don't mind knots. I just take my single strand, and I take one end, and I only thread one end into my needle, like I'm sewing, right. And then I take the other end and match them, and then I make a knot. I tie them together. This is what I do, because I don't have to worry about it coming out of my needle ever. So when I make knots, though, I make 3, so they don't come through the back of my Ada. So you're just going to, I mean, I leave like this much, but you're going to have enough to kind of be mindful of and grab a hold of to make sure you don't pull it through. So that's why it's kind of a pain, but it's okay. A lot of people like to not have the knots. So there I have my knot. So now I have this. So it's basically the same. You have a double strand, but here you have a tail, and here you don't. So does everybody have a piece of thread knotted or tailed? Okay. Just sewing, yeah. What? Okay, good. I didn't know if I could. Okay. Yes. I know, it's not very bright. Okay, who needs help? Okay.
I can't get this threaded for nothing, and I want to double it, because I've done this before, and I just want to go through, and then I double it, and I put a knot, but I
Perfect.
can't see. I even
No, I
got
know,
these
it's okay.
broken
Here you go.
glasses out of my car.
Oop. No problem. Okay, who else? Okay, coming.
Trying to get it in the hole.
I know. Now, do you want it doubled?
I think I've already doubled it.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
I don't have to.
No, How do you get it down? Here, let's get your needle. And then you go on this side, and you're gonna grab one strand. Just one, and then you pull it. Okay. Do you want to do it with a knot?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The one. Oh goodness. All right, you got that? Okay, anyone else? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so I doubled it up. I don't want a knot. Now where do I go?
Okay, just
I
hang
don't
tight.
like
We're gonna sew. Yep, you're good.
Okay,
We're
that's
gonna,
good?
yep. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna start. So I'm gonna show the unknotted way. So if you have your tail, the one with the tail, you just have to be mindful that the tail, you don't pull it through the needle, okay? So with this, so when you do a cross stitch pattern, you want to start in the middle, okay, ish. So you can see here in the middle, like that pink one, the bottom row of the pink in the middle, or the top of the green if you have green. That first one there, you can start either one, whatever color you have. That's basically in the middle. But you start in the middle and you work out, okay? So since I have pink, I'm going to start, and then in the middle of your Aida cloth, so I'm just right in the middle, it doesn't have to be precise, okay? So if you have the tail one, or if you have the other one, you always start at the back. So you just have to find yourself a hole. If you have the tail one, you might watch me do one stitch to see how you secure it before you try it. So I'm going to pull. I am not going to pull it all the way through. Oh, am I? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to, see, I have my tail back here, right? It's a loop, actually. And then I'm going to come down in a diagonal. So each little hole, they form a little box. So just think of that as the 4-hole box. So I'm going to come down through the diagonal. And when I come down, I'm going to come through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and go through that loop. So I secure it. That's the unknotted way. That is the unknotted way. So I'm going to show you now how to do it the knot. I'm going to just finish my X. So basically what you're going to do with cross stitch is you make X's. So now I'm going to go to the other little hole. And it gets better. Like right now, I'm nervous, so it looks like this is treacherous, but you actually can go fast, but okay, let me try down here. And it doesn't matter if you're in the top or the bottom hole. So see, now I'm through. Now I've got my X. That's my first X. Now I'm going to show you with the knotted. The knotted one, you don't have to worry about anything because you have a knot in it. It's not going to come back through your needle. So I'm just going to go next to it. So I'm just going to come up through one of the, here, I'll actually